Team Empire take on Unnamed as our first matchup for the day. Good luck, have fun to both teams.
Now, bans. There has been a lot said about a certain operator ban over the past week or so in terms of Empire. Do you think we will see that?
I'm debating here, honestly, because the Ashe ban is so weird. There's no utility that you really get from Ashe. It's pure frag potential. We've seen Joystick tear up stuff on that. Ying ban could be coming out from Empire, however, to start with. Not an unusual ban at all coming out there from Empire on Oregon. They ban Ying quite a lot as well, just on top of that, so I'm not surprised there. Unnamed will start out the attack bans as well. And yeah, there we go. They will ban out the Ashe. They do not want to deal with that at all, and I do not blame them.
You can see Kendrew with the slightly angry face, or the cheeky face, obviously. I'm not going to go into any of the discussion that happened over Twitter and what camp. But the defenders, now to take off the table in Oregon, you can expect to normally lose Mira, which there she goes. There she is on that basement point, which is so influential. And then you got your Maestro, your Echo here, you know. But then we've also seen a lot of smoke occasionally taken off too.
Potentially a mute ban here as well, just because it would be really annoying on Oregon to try and deal with that. Probably an Echo or a Valkyrie. Don't forget, new changes to Valkyrie this season, of course, with throwing distance. So
she's been at the gym. I was gonna say she's
been hitting the weights, definitely doing those press ups, and she's been getting out there. It's definitely a very hard operator to deal with at the moment, just because you can put those cameras on the moon, and IQ cannot shoot them outside into space.
No, and yet there's IQ with her 15-meter range. But laundry room and supply room, we're going to go head to first. Vigil is on the table from Joystick. Obviously, we talked about. If anyone, for whatever reason, doesn't know why Ashe was taken out of the table, there is a reason. It is Joystick, such a good fragging player, and he still has that capability on a lot of other operators. But there is the swap to Jaeger. Maestro, Ella, Alibi, and Smoke will be holding that laundry room.
His mains, though, definitely are the Ashe and the Jaeger, so no surprises coming out there from Joystick on his 6-pick, from Vigil onto the Jaeger, but from Kendrew, it's going to be the IQ onto the KB, which is interesting because Kendrew's main operator is actually the Buck. He is very, very, very famous on the Buck. He's done very, very good work in that throughout Challenger League and throughout the previous season of CCS as well. Kendrew's always been, to me, one of the players who wins fights that he should not win, and he probably knows that he shouldn't win those.
Yeah, I mean, players like that, it's the balance of it's 95% confidence.
Mistakes coming out there from Shockwave. I'm not really sure what happened there, but he threw the impacts, and they did not hit that attic wall. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there exactly, but there will be no rotate through into attic. Very aggressive strategy coming out from Empire, already putting a lot of utility upstairs, opening up the attic rotate, and really forcing a roam clear here from Unnamed.
Yeah, you can see obviously Smoke has gone to fill in where those impacts just did not impact. Opening up that rotation, how much that will slow down their setup is always the argument. But here we go, the first round. Joystick instantly looking for those firefights off towards that southwest spawn. But these guys are no spring chickens. They are not falling for it as they start to approach that south entrance.
A quick rush could be the devastation here of Empire, but it looks like Unnamed will indeed try and contest this roam. Jugger will push up onto the small tower. Cactus will rotate outside of the south side, and rappelling up, looking into the master bedroom, seeing what he can do here instead. Should be lots of drones coming out here from Unnamed, but Kendrew makes his way through onto Kitchen already. Shockwave has got to know there's someone around the corner here. They're so close together, but they can't find each other just yet. They can almost smell each other, but the KB calls are going to go out. The Lodge Bomb is deployed. Kendrew will peek it, and he gets the first kill of the series. There we go. Shockwave goes down already. The alibi off the table, but it's not over yet for Empire. They still have a good presence on the roam. And lots of pre-fires coming down from Cactus, trying to find this fight, but Joystick is not going to let him have it just yet. He will just continue tap firing. Cactus is so low on HP already. He does still have one frag grenade, but there we go. Jugger moving in from the other side takes down Joystick. There's the main fragger from Empire gone down. It's already a 5v3 situation. Kazaka still holding on to Kid's room as he does. Jugger moving in through where he can onto Dom's main hall. Kazeka is in a pretty good position here, actually. He still has a lot of utility, he still has his 2 ADSs, but they will get shot off. Kansas Curse coming through there. Jugger moves all the way through to try and go for the pre-fires. He sees him, but no, Kazeka takes one down, but instantly traded out by Noera. Coming through in through the attic hallway. And he takes him down. It's going to be a 2v5, looking so good for Unnamed right now.
Yeah, you obviously mentioned how quickly they can take it, but this roam clear has been clinical in how they are moving across the top of those dorms and pushing them around. Obviously, they almost lost it a little bit from the reverse push there from Kazuka, but managed to close down that Ella and did not lose Thatcher. Almost a little bit of a soft reset there, but now it is down with a minute left. Scyther and Smoke, Maestro and Smoke even, ready on this point to try and hold it. Tank is just clearing away those barbed wires. It looks like they want to go for that laundry plant. They're going to push against it. The drop down is open. They're pushing against that closed wall as well as the smokes are going down. This is utility push, the smoke counter, but it is being planted by Tank. Just in the corner, the diffuser goes down, but so does the Kendrew, the Duckabee of Kendrew.
Yeah, Shepard going to move through to try and go for this retake. Jugger still holding on to it. Still has a little bit of utility left. You will peek it out, but Jugger will take down Scyther. And it's going to be all into the hands of Shepard. He still has one remote gas grenade. He will take down Tank Ninjas, but instantly traded out by Cactus. And then Unnamed to take round number 1.
And then the name did. And it was a frag with a plant, which is, you know, against a team like Empire, it's always surprising to see them not get a couple more of those firefights. They almost seemed a little bit caught out in a lot of those positions. Obviously, we saw that very early round of the corner possibility there between the Dokkaebi and whoever was hiding in the cabinet, who got called by the Dokkaebi. But it seemed like they were completely unaware. They went straight to answer the calls. So maybe Empire just needs to wake up a little bit into this game. But they're going to rotate all the way upstairs.
Yeah, it was a Shockwave playing on the Alibi and Pantry. He got caught out there by Cactus, just pushing all the way in. And yeah, sorry, not Cactus, Kendrew, who was playing as a KB, and he just got caught out. But I think he just didn't realize that he was that close, and he would just peek it immediately after the launch bomb went down. He gets caught out like that. That's fine, but there's no trades coming out from Empire right now. It was very disappointing gameplay to come out from them, considering that this really ought to be their map, especially on defense. Is a fairly defender-sided map at this point. So we'll see how the rest of these rounds do go down. But we're just one round in, but already looking very strong for Unnamed, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the teams, the expectations. We mentioned that Empire are one of those top teams to beat, and Unnamed are proving it. They're bringing back this old blood feud from last season. They want to claim that first place, and there is no better way to open up your season than take down the previous season's winner.
No, definitely not. We'll see how it is going to go through as we see all the Echo drones coming out here from Scyther. And we're going to see an upstairs defense instead. What do you think about this defense? It's kind of maybe a little bit easier to hold in some ways, but harder to hold in others.
Yeah, I mean, normally, often, not normally, but often when you see Mirror being banned out, this is a lot of the team's first go-to point. It's they'll take dorms because they feel a bit more comfortable setting up defenses. They'll go downstairs in Zebra Corridor. They'll hold it from there. You've seen some creative uses of the heavy shotguns on defense to open up certain parts of this very destructible floor. There's a lot of possibility to do on this point that there isn't so much on the basement point. But at the same time, Shook taking out Nure, the Habana is off the table.
Already losing the Habana, the only big hard breacher coming out there from Unnamed. Already down. This is not looking too good for them. Kendrew gonna try and move in through a refrag, and he does get it. Joystick already off the board so early on. Flashbangs are gonna go through. Tank Ninjas with a really nice angle here onto the laundry stairs, and Kazeka pushing through onto Zulu, just rotating all the way back to small tower. Seeing what he can do, but already the roam game being very heavily affected, but it was very effective already in removing quite a lot of utility from Unnamed.
Yeah, obviously this is definitely an Empire that's looking for a little bit more of those frags, and as you said before, they weren't kind of getting those counter picks, they weren't getting those trades. This is them looking for trades. This is them being in positions to pick up each other's corpses if worst comes to worst. And it is instantly putting much more of a dampener in the speed that Unnamed are pushing. Here comes the use of Mav, almost catches the Legion and does in the end. Shot goes down to Cactus with a beautiful push, and there is a trade. Kazeka taking out Tank Ninjas. This is what we wanted from Empire in the first round.
Yeah, doing very well with that indeed. It now is a 3v3 situation. Empire looking pretty good, though. They do still have quite a lot of roam control. Kazeka, of course, still playing that Zulu position on the Bandit. Not looking too good for Unnamed to be able to push in here. They are losing time, but Cactus has been able to make his entry into the site. despite the fact that Breaching Torch isn't that great at making those holes, he has been able to do so effectively. Moving through onto the top of White Stairs now, he is going to get Echo Drones spotted out. 35 seconds left to go on the clock. They have no IQ. They can't take out these Echo Drones, but they can kill operators. There we go. KaZeKa off the board from Kendrew. He's going to leave it into a 2v3. Not looking too good for Empire, but they have got time on their side. The plant is going to try and go down. Smokes are going to go out. And the Echo Drone should be there as well to deny the plant. Kendrew moves up onto the top of White Stairs. He's trying to see exactly what's going on here. The Echo Drone does see the plant as Shepard takes down Kendrew. It is a 2v2. It's all down to the wire. Shepard takes down Jugger as well. Cactus cannot get the diffuser down in time, and no, Scyther will take him down instead. Empire take round number 2. Very, very well played.
Now that was much more of the Empire that we are used to seeing. Obviously the beautiful use of that Echo Drone denying the plant as one, but the communication on that remote gas grenade throw that just stopped that plant was beautiful. It was beautiful. But this is what we expect to see. This is the Empire. They were ready to pick up those refrags. You could see it kind of stuttered, unnamed after KaZeKa got the kill downstairs. They sent someone, the Kendrew rotated down to try and pick up the return frag, wanted to clear that off, and it was just eating precious time from Unnamed that seemed so solid in that first round.
Yeah, looking very solid from them indeed. We'll move through now into round number 3, and we will see yet another laundry defense coming out from Empire. Last time, this did not end so well for them, but I think that was mainly because of their not their poor roaming game, but Unnamed's insanely good clearing coming out from them. They just completely picked them apart. They knew exactly where Empire were playing. They had great drone work coming out. They were set up for every single trade they could have possibly done. And I think the most important part about this is where Joystick was trying to contest with Cactus, who was sitting on the sort of roof area and trying to get a peek into highway window. And rather than Cactus just re-peek it, he waits for his teammate to peek it instead. And he's forcing Joystick to try and contest him so that Joystick can't trade his teammate out instead. And yeah, just very conscious playing coming out from Unnamed. They realized that against people like Joystick and against a lot of this team, maybe they can't really take the frags as heavily as they want. They're setting up for trades in the right way. They're isolating members of Empire. Empire seems to be struggling against that kind of thing. Yeah,
and obviously it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because on this point, because the last time we were on this point, it was a very, as I said, quick clear of places like kitchen, of dorms. We can already hear some bullets being fired, whether that's through walls or just test shots and pre-shots. We can't actually see too much, but Kendrew wants to clear the big tower. They want to start again going for that roam clear that was so effective last time. However, they will find that nobody is home. That is ground they can get. It looks like Joystick and Kendrew, though, have had a little bit of a back and forth.
Just a little bit back and forth here, but Shockwave will kick things off in the correct direction. Jugger already going to go down. Joystick's just getting so aggressive right now. Pushes up all the way onto the top of Attic, gets a kill on the Kendrew. KaZeKa gets the pistol whip into one nowhere, and now it's already a 5v2. Unnamed have lost complete control here, and it's only 1 minute into the round.
Yeah, that was a very decisive shutdown there from Empire, and rounds where they've got more and more confident. Cactus getting that refrag, as you said, Joystick getting more and more aggressive. They have the pair of their surviving operators pushing down towards Harry Potter, playing on tower stairs now, worried from someone looping up from underneath. Tank Ninjas is covering. They are not far away from Shockwave, who goes for the fight through the alibi. Does not win it, though. Tank Ninjas with a beautiful pickup there. 3-2, but you still have 3 big operators on the board. You have Elo and KaZeKa, you have the Smoke and the Maestro. This is going to be a tough play for Unnamed.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough play indeed, but with just about 1 minute 20 seconds left to go on the clock. There's still plenty of utility coming up from Unnamed, but they are at a disadvantage. They're going to have to try and find a little bit more gunfights and just pushing in here and trying to equalize the scoreboard out just a little bit. EMPs are going to come down from Tank Ninjas, as he will drop down into Electric to see what he can do here, just holding down the rotate and moves all the way into the site. He does have control of the diffuser, so he could go for a plant here, but it'd be very aggressive from him. But he does get aggressive with it. There we go. Shepard goes down. Now it's a 2v1. Tank Ninja pushing all the way up, but there we go. KaZeKa easily able to trade it out. Empire take round number 3.
Well, as we said, that was very good play from Empire. The way that they were kind of prepared and set up, they instantly fed the information of where this push was coming from. As we said, we had little light trades, and then we saw Joystick pushing. We saw Shockwave get that first kill. They're finding their feet on a map that we described as their map.
Yeah, it is definitely their map, I would say. It's very interesting that Empire kind of falling apart at the seams here in some of these early fights, but they've definitely got to get back together. I think Joystick in particular always takes maybe a couple of rounds to warm up, and then he just goes off. A lot of that is going to depend on his roam game and a lot of the aggressiveness coming out from Empire, and particularly this site. It's going to be a big tower defense from Empire.
Big tower, the famous third site, the argument of where to go and how to hold it. Well, we're going to risk stage Watchtower, and for a team that can play quite aggressively against a team that can push very well aggressively and close down, this is going to be a battle.
Also want to give a quick shout out to Razor GM. If you see him in the chat, give him a wave. He is the coach for Team Empire. He's been with these guys for a while, so do give him your love and appreciation. If you're a fan of Team Empire, let him know that you love him.
All right, Shockwave setting up with the pulse. Obviously, we look at the choice of operators that they are bringing on this defense. Vigil, who has often been sick picked out, is being actually taken this time by Kazuka, so it'll be interesting to see where they put it. They have pulse, you can assume is probably going to go down into that basement, get some information from Bunker, from Harry Potter, get some ideas on the push, and then the smoke and the Jaeger and the Legion, but no cameras this time. Obviously, bouts off the table, but no Echo and no Maestro, and we've seen both used every round pretty effectively so far.
Pretty effectively indeed. We'll see a trying big tower take coming out here from Unnamed. It's interesting in how they're going to try and take this. I'm expecting Joystick could be playing into the sort of tier 3 of the tower and just trying to hold that all down with his ADSs. Empire have done that quite a few times in the past, but no, this is going to be Joystick on the roam over here in small dorms, along with Karzeka on the Vigil, but it looks like someone is going to be holding tier 3 regardless. We've seen a pretty good roam clear coming out from Unnamed so far, despite the fact that last round they didn't have a great start to it. They did manage to even the score out just a little bit. So we'll see how the rest of Unnamed do try and go for this. We'll see where the opening kills are going to be coming out. But this is already looking a lot slower than the previous rounds have been.
Yeah, obviously these are battles happening on dorms. Kazuka's holding those windows. But what you always like to see from a good defense and from a good roamer is take up time. Eat time of the attackers. And this is exactly what is happening. You can see they're just trying to find an entry frag before they push because they know they are good fraggers. There is the fight though between Shock and Nora on that window. A little bit of a battle. Joystick finds Cactus 5 versus 3, and this is definitely a solid way of holding this point now as Kazuka goes for the far rotation to small office, trying to see if they can spot anyone from the other tower. Unfortunately, no bites.
No bites just yet, but this is great roam control still from Empire, and Unnamed just have nothing into the site. They really need to start pushing onto the site or try and get some kills on the table, but they are starting to run out of time, and they're starting to run out of options here. Shockwave maybe looking to go for a run out here. He does know there's someone in that corner right now. Tank Ninja is going to TK Kendrew, but Jugger's Claymore will be able to get onto Karzeka as he goes to the run out. But as Jugger makes his way into the site, he will be executed by Shepard. As he leaves Tank Ninjas in a 1v4 clutch situation. As the Thermite, he will peek around onto Scyther, but he will get taken down. Empire take round number 4 in a very, very well executed big tower defense. Unnamed clearly not be able to keep up with the roam game coming out from Empire.
No, for a team that started well, it turns out that it was just Empire starting badly. They have just turned the game up. Each and every round they are finding new territory to push into, and boy are they pushing some beautiful movements and frags coming out from them in that previous round. Obviously this is a 1-0 to a 3-1 and they are looking more and more powerful. Legion, Bandit, Echo is currently back on the table, Jaeger and Smoke as we head back up to Kid Storms, which was the start of their return to this game.
Now remember, this is new rules as well, so this will not be the final defense for Empire. That'll be next round. As we'll see 6 rounds on defense, and then they'll go onto the attack for 6 rounds. We'll see how exactly it goes. Sorry, but already looking very, very good for Empire. Something that's to be expected. Not just that Oregon is defense-sided map. As we already mentioned, this is one of Empire's favorite maps to go on, and I'm kind of surprised that Unnamed let them take that.
Yeah, I mean, you always talk about certain teams and certain maps. Obviously, the discussion always happens where you'll say, well, this is, you know, the Oregon, and you could say it is an EG map. You could go that all day, but this is an Empire map. Like there's so much that they can do here, and they do here. And yeah, they took a round at the beginning, but Empire is just so comfortable. Map comfort for them here is off the charts. If there was a map comfort charts, they're off it right now.
They're off the charts right now. Definitely. Could not have said it better myself. We'll move through now into round number 5, looking very, very good for Team Empire right now. Unnamed, though, have got one round on the board. They've proved that this defense is not infallible. We'll see how it go through, but Cactus is already injured. How does that happen? Maverick is down already. Joystick with a pistol whip, but instantly traded by Tank Ninjas. But wow, that is a Maverick off the board instantly. Very well played from Joystick.
So I talk about map comfort, and then you can also, I guess, they're very comfortable enough to jump out the windows and go for spawn fights and take down the Maverick. Yeah, you lost your Jaeger in that fight, but you dropped their Maverick, like the Maverick that caused you such issues last time we got them straight onto the point. That's a lot of comfort. Kendra is going for those fast clears as before getting hit by those Legion mines. Kazuko has plenty of time to answer that call, not getting caught out this time. Scyther is just going to bring that Echo drone around to Zulu, give themselves a little bit more insight. This is where we're going to start to see them stacking up. Kendra and Nure are going to go for the push against Zulu. Kazuko is holding that tight angle. Shepard again is playing above. Ready. Dokkaebi gets caught a little bit as she goes for the rotate. Or it's IQ. Even as Kazuko pulls back round, takes care of the drone. Shot gets Kendra. There is the rest of Dokkaebi's health taken off. And Shot jumps out to take care of Jugger as well.
Insanely well executed already from Empire, just winning so many gunfights as Karzeka finds one of his own. Tank Ninjas left alone will pick up Karzeka. That's a 1v3 now, moving through and seeing what he can do here exactly. He will get hit by the Echo drone. He will get spotted out exactly, and seeing exactly how Empire are just tearing him apart right now. But he does have quite a lot of time left. He does have 3 flashbangs left in his backpack. And we'll see exactly how he wants to execute. But no, Scyther is going to end all of those hopes and dreams, takes him down. Empire take round number 5.
Well, you know, comfort, Empire, other words that I've already said many times, and I do not need to repeat. We are starting to see them. They're coming into this game. They're coming into this game now. Unnamed, 1 round left as the attackers. Obviously, this was Empire's map pick, so they chose to attack first. So yeah, they've got a whole other half, don't get me wrong, but this is a very important round for them, because if they can pull this back, they get themselves a little bit more momentum to swap into the side, because they wanted to attack first here. You just look at that, obviously, that spread of kills. We talk about Empire and their runouts and their fragging ability, and there it is. They're a team that all of them are capable of going for those firefights.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how it does go through as we move into round number 6. It's going to be the final defense coming out from Empire, and they are going to attempt a laundry defense yet again. Don't forget, this is the only defense which Unnamed were able to actually crack. A lot of that came down to very precise and very well played roam clear. Empire seemed to be playing a little bit differently that time, but most of the strats are pretty much the same. They've been running the same strats, maybe playing a little bit more aggressively or a little bit more defensively, depending on what is going on in the round. But overall, they're running the exact same setup every single round. Maybe Unnamed needs to start looking at what is actually happening in these rounds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, we talk about how important games are to win and lose. It's the opening day of the play day. You're up against the previous season champs, who are outside of CCS. They're a team that has a lot of strength behind their name in Pro League, but at the same time, inside CCS, they're the previous season's champs. They're the top dogs in this tournament at this moment in time. Losing to them on your first day, it's not the end of the world. You have a whole season ahead of you to start pulling stuff back, and it just makes the rematch all the more exciting. However, we say that, it's 4-1. This is map 1. We've got a lot of game left.
We do have a lot of game left indeed, and just all the claymores coming out as well so far. Just expecting things like that from Joystick. Just goes for the run out, and will eliminate Jugger all the way from Zulu. We're doing very, very well with that. And already a 5v4. And already removing the Zofia off the board. Cactus will manage to repel all the way into Armory. The Armory wall's not reinforced, and that is a great angle for them to have. Joystick still holding it all down very, very well into Generator. And Unnamed are starting to lose their grip here, but there we go. Joystick goes flying as Kenji's very well placed Claymore will execute him. Just about 1 minute into the round now. It's a 4v4. Losing your Jaeger, though, is not a big deal, and already having traded him out. But Kendra will pick up another kill. There we go. Karzeka is out of it. Now it's not starting looking a little bit much better for Unnamed. This is much looking like how they were doing in the first round.
Yeah, this is definitely a better Unnamed side. They're finding those aggressive. They're kind of getting a bit of fire in their team as well, and I think that is the main point of their team right now is they needed to find ways to almost take advantage of the comfort of Empire. They're overstretching, they're over-moving. That's what you've got to exploit, because as soon as you make that run out too impactful... Wow, I didn't even know where those shots came from, but oh, it was the reset. Okay, I thought that was a down there. Oh, that would have been amazing. It was just the reset. God damn it. But as soon as you start to exploit those, that is when you put a team like that off their game.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, you do put them off the game. Indeed, we are now moving into a 4v3. Of course, just about 1 minute left to go on the clock. Empire will start to rotate back to the site. They know they've lost control of the map now. Now they just have to hold down the fort. They've got plenty of utility to do that with, especially in the form of Shepard's remote gas grenades.
Yeah, obviously 50 seconds as well is so much time for these guys. The IQ is doing her work, trying to find those jammers. There's all important ways to allow them to push. Tank Ninja's suffering a little bit at the bottom of the stairs, obviously, as they peek out from that connecting corridor, still trying to cut down that barbed wire. Obviously, if we remember, this was the point that they took. They got it with a plant and then took the frags from it. Kendrew covering the drop downs from meeting above. Another smoke goes down. You look at the health of Kendrew and Tank. There's the C4 Torn. Almost catches Tank, but just misses with the skin of his teeth. 20 seconds left on the clock. They are holding this firing line and not allowing any ground. There goes the second smoke. Tank cannot stand in it. Shepard and Shot get 2 frags. Scyther goes down to Cactus as well. 2 versus 2. 8 seconds. Cactus finds Shot. 1 versus 2. Shepard is holding on for dear life. And the diffuser goes down, but no array with a beautiful take there. 4-2.
Very, very down to the wire right at the end there. Very well played coming out from Unnamed. Much better room clear coming out from them. Very reminiscent of what they did in the first round against Empire. But still, very, very close round. It could have easily been clutched out by the smoke. Nora will move it through, however, into a victory for Unnamed. And it will be 40 scoreline moving into the second half. Now, Oregon, very, very defense-sided map. However, Empire played that very, very aggressively. Looks like we are going to see... I'm interested to see what operator Joystick actually picks here, because I would have thought he's be on the Zofia. He's actually going to be on the IQ. Yeah,
so obviously there's still the possibility of 6th picks, but, you know, Ash is off the table, and that is a target ban against Joystick. So, as you said, Joystick on the Zofia is a normal choice, but it looks like they're trying to shake things up a little bit, which, hey, now's the time. Now you can see, obviously, Pulse, Maestro, Smoke, Elysian, and Jaeger, the 6th pick, going down to Laundry and Supply. Maestro, a very important operator, but it's all locked in, and here we go for the first of the second half.
Yeah, here we go. Indeed, we'll see how it is going to go through, as we'll see an interesting setup maybe coming out from them. I still feel like operator lineup in terms of Oregon tends to be fairly similar across the board. However, kind of surprised there's a pulse in this lineup coming out from Tank Ninjas. That is suggesting a very heavy roam game, and the fact that they're reinforcing upstairs as well suggests a heavy roam game, such as one that Empire pulled off. That they were roaming quite heavily upstairs. They had rotates pretty much everywhere around the map, and they were trying to keep as much distraction as possible. They were trying to just waste time.
Yeah, obviously we talk about the importance of time and how it is arguably the second thing you are playing against. You're playing against the opponent and you're playing against the clock. And a good roamer can shut down so much, and putting up those reinforcements, having the pulse, covering those sides, it just eats so much possible time. But they are going for big tower first. Empire Joystick is just moving to the top. This is why they've bought their IQ. Obviously, they're just going to try and feed some information. So unfortunately, misthrow the drone to go and collect that as Shepard goes to cover highway window side. Kazuka is digging straight across attic. They are wasting no time in trying to close across this map towards dorms.
Yeah, Kazuka moving pretty good progress in here so far, as he will manage to open another window. Just holding down onto highway, but Empire still moving fairly slowly, and not a single frag on the board from either side just yet. It looks like they're kind of just ignoring the roam presence, honestly. They're just holding down the flanks, making sure that it's not an issue, and then pushing down onto the site from the backside potentially. Tank Ninjas is going to get very, very lit up already. It was like pistol whips are going to start coming out, but Tank Ninja's going to be using his pulse just to see what he's exactly going around outside, as Noah is actually going to get the first kill of the round.
Nitro deployed.
Now it's a 3v5, looking very, very good so far for Unnamed, but Joystick will strike back. He does get the kill onto Kendrew. Now it's a 4v3. Just layer IQ scanning coming out. Empire trying to desperately recover this. They've still got plenty of time. They've still got plenty of utility, and they are only one man down. They can bring this back, but their entry is kind of gone at the moment.
Yeah, obviously losing the entry, we saw then that beautiful C4, but a minute left. This is the position where they were struggling before. They have some good utility. I say they were struggling. The other attack team was struggling, but Scyther, we talk about struggling no more. 3-3 now with a beautiful takedown of the tank. Kind of overextended and overpushed there. Looked for a firefight against a team that is always looking for firefights and starting to push down through Harry Potter. Zofia is ready to push. You can see the Maestro Cam is watching. Jugger takes down Zofia with a beautiful spray there. Shepard gets the return, the refrag, and it is now Smoke just biding for time as Joystick gets repositioned on that meeting hall drop.
Yeah, we'll start to reposition themselves, but 30 seconds left to go on the clock, and we'll see exactly how this is going to go down. Legion Mines are going to get detonated by Joystick as he makes his way down Laundry Stairs to try and go for the pinch. Shepard just still watching, but no, Joystick's actually just going to drop into the hallway. I don't even think they realize he dropped there, but no, Nora will prove the better of that. The refrag does try and come through and does be successful from Shepard, but Cactus with a beautiful angle takes down Shepard with a headshot. Unnamed, take round number 7.
That was some very, very good play there from Unnamed. They seem pretty set up on that defense. As we said, they threw a lot upstairs. They were ready to kind of watch from range, but then when push came to shove and it came to get those picks, they were set up. They were ready, and they almost caught a few of the Empire players unaware. However, we said that about the very first round of this map. They got a lot of those Empire players unaware, and then Empire kind of woke up to it and went on a little bit of a rampage. Are we going to see a similar thing from their attack, or can Unnamed start just clawing this back?
We will see how it is going to go down. As I said, this tends to be fairly defender-sided, so I wouldn't be surprised if Unnamed started to bring this back. The fact that they did take 2 rounds where they did on the attack is pretty impressive in and of itself. We'll see how it does go down. I think, honestly, the Ash ban has affected a little bit from Empire here.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a player that is so synonymous at absolutely decimating with an operator, especially to the point where a lot of people, you know, they're amazed by what he can do with it, and then you take him out, and then everyone goes into arguments about how powerful the operator is itself in terms of the game. Like, you know that is a big thing to take out of a team.
Yeah, it definitely has been indeed. We'll see how it does go down. As we move to round number 8, it is going to be an upstairs hold coming out here. And we'll see exactly what Unnamed want to do here. I think that, again, they're going to go for this fairly heavy roam and just try and force Empire to go for a roam play. They've had pretty good success so far in gunfights, surprisingly, against Empire. Maybe going into this, people would have thought that Empire is the better gunfighter, sir, but it seems to have been pretty even across the board so far. We've seen most frags from Empire have actually been refrags.
Yeah, well, that was exactly it. Obviously, we said that was what they weren't really doing, and then they started doing it, and then they started getting so aggressive that they were jumping out and 2 runouts in a single round. But you know, they're very much a team that knows how to cover each other's shoulders, and can almost all of them be an exceptional fragging player, be a very, very solid fragging player. And you can see instantly Joystick finds tank ninjas.
Yeah, talking about excellent gunplay, we'll see Joystick already getting that frag. There we go, the mute off the board, and the only Nitro, I don't think Jugger plays Bandit Nitro. Could be mistaken in this particular setup, however. As drones that are going to be coming out from Joystick instantly shot out, however, they do have control of the kids' room windows, and I don't think there's any vertical play coming out from Kitchen either. So pretty good plays coming out already from Empire, and that's a very early smoke coming out from Cactus. He will try and peek out the windows where he can and what he can do here exactly. Scyther is just going to peek it out all the way onto the double windows. Just go for those pre-fires, trying to find that wall bang onto Jugger, but won't find it exactly just yet.
Does push Jugger into a little bit of a tight spot, but does not matter. Cactus gets Joystick, and Scyther gets Cactus in the return. And as you said, picking up those return frags. Empire are so good at that.
Yeah, so good at them indeed. It is a 4v3 situation. Now Kendrew trying to get these refrags where he can. He's moved into a little bit of an awkward position here, but oh, Nora from the big tower will take down Karzeka. This is poor drone game coming out from Empire. There really should be a flank watch drone there in Big Tower, or at least someone watching it. Shockwave was there, but unable to get the kill just yet. Jugger will actually go down. That's going to leave it all into Nowhere and Kendra, but no, actually it was a reset. Not too bad after all. It's a 3v3.
Now, obviously they have a minute left. They have plenty of time, but it's looking to see how they start to utilize that push. Obviously there is suddenly the trades of things. As I'm talking about it, the round is over.
And there we go. Tick, tack, boom. Just like that, Empire will take the round. Very successfully done. Will extend their lead and look to make a little bit of a name for themselves out of Unnamed. We'll see how that goes through for them, as we'll see Empire move through for an attack onto Kids Domes yet again. What went wrong for Method? Well, not Method, Unnamed that time.
Unnamed. Well, I mean, it's always hard to call. As you said, I think one of the main points about that was when you commented that Kendra had pushed himself into a bit of a tight spot, and I think that's what they kind of did. They kept on suffering and stuttering into the backs of other people and falling into tight corners that they arguably should not have been in, and it's how they kind of respond to that and how they kind of, I don't want to keep mentioning it, but comfort. You've got to not let Empire get too comfortable. Be in places that they do not expect to find you in.
As many bombs as they can.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. We'll see how the rest of it does go down, as we'll see Unnamed again, just moving through for this very aggressive playstyle, moving downstairs, this time bringing a pulse along with them. I think this is a good choice from them. I still would like to see maybe an aggressive hold of Kitchen, and especially opening up vertical play, because those kids' room windows were taken control of pretty much immediately by Empire, and that allowed the rest of their push to really come through once they had the control. Once they knew that no peek was going to be able to come through from Attic, you see Shockwave went in there, he opened it up from Big Tower side, and after that, it was kind of over.
Yeah, I mean, the way they kind of, it was almost fluent to them. It was a very, very effective team push. They were covering the windows. We talk about the speed and the ability of Joystick as a fragger, getting the mute almost instantly whilst he was still setting up. You know, they knew what they were doing, and boy, did they do it well. 5-3 though, obviously, as you said, it's the new rules. We still have a couple of rounds ahead of us at least. We're still in this for the long run. There is plenty for Unnamed to bring it back, because they almost brought it back to a balance from this deficit before.
This is such a typical player from Empire. They've done this so many times in the past, especially the drone position where Shepard had it, just moving into Attic, seeing that they have a rotate, seeing that there is reinforcements going down, and if it's needed, Kazaka would move into position to nade out that spot if there was banner tricking going down, but it won't be going down just yet. We'll see how the rest of Unnamed respond to all of this going down. We have got a little bit more vertical play coming out this time. That's also going to allow Kenju to throw a Nitro through the vertical play and onto the Kids' Dorm windows.
It's one of those Nitros that you love to see. But they are...
Not if you're the victim.
Not if you're the victim. Well, hopefully you won't see it. But Kendru is, as I said, that Pulse is playing a pretty good role underneath Dorms, trying to get that information, battling against an IQ of Joystick, dug into a corner, looking for that information to feed it to the rest of the team. Gonna just boldly run straight out across there, and lucky not to get picked off by a team that is kind of matching that aggression. Nora is ready for the run out from the kitchen side and the dining room side. They have the door open. Shepard is droning it too. There is a lot of information gathering. This is the longest all 10 operators have still been alive at this point.
Yeah, no, it definitely has been a very aggressive game so far. We'll see how the rest of it does start to play out here, as lots of pre-placed drones coming out here from Empire, a lot of flank watching coming out. That's also kind of a danger, that if you set up flank watch drones and everyone is still alive, sometimes they don't get watched. But we'll see a very heads-up plays coming out from Shepard here to do just that. Joystick will get the opening frag, however, Cactus is going to go down already. That's the smoke off the board, but we'll still see lots of vertical play going. Both Noera and Kendru are both downstairs, and Kendru still has this C4 in hand. There's only 45 seconds left to go on the clock for Empire to make a push here.
I think that's actually one of my favorite spots, is being under those windows from there. Joystick looking away just at the wrong time as someone rotates up. It is Jugger on the Bandit, watching for the movement on the window, almost catches something into Joystick. Yeah, Joystick survives somehow. Scyther is pretty injured on main window, shooting across the corridor, and Tank Ninjas and Scyther and Kazuka are all in the 3 trade there, with Kazuka being the only survivor, and a double as Joystick pushes in as well. 4 versus 1 out of nowhere.
And Kazaka will just finish things off easy as that SMG-11 push onto the top of White Stairs, takes his head off. Easy as that. Empire will take yet another round and push themselves onto match point. This could be the first half of the series over for Unnamed in this next round, unless they try and pull something a little bit quicker out the bag. I think maybe a little bit more over-investment of kitchen there than they really needed to do so. Maybe they could have put pressure on just running out a dining room window, or maybe even just going for a push out of small tower. Honestly, the thing that I mentioned about how flank watch drones weren't really being watched just because everyone was still up alive from Empire could have been exploited a little bit from Unnamed. They could have gone for a little bit more aggressive peaks. They could have gone for a little bit more aggressive rotates. Didn't come out from them at all. Maybe that's what also in the round. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, obviously, you did look, as you said, I think they definitely did have too much down in the spot. And I said, I love that spot, but you don't really need two people watching both windows, especially when one of them is a pulse who will instantly know where the kind of movement's happening. They had the C4 in the pocket and ready to go. They had a lot of possibility there. And you think of all the places you could have gone there. Imagine someone pushing to big tower. It's not a large rotation. There's so much possibility there for them to go round and just kind of take them from the side. But the more time that they sat in those similar positions, yeah, they stopped the push from that one side, but it gave Empire so much time to find other sides to close it down. It gave them so much time to just find a way to pick apart your defense.
Yeah, definitely. We will see match point going underway here for Empire, looking pretty good for them so far. We'll see another laundry defense coming out here from Unnamed. We'll see how they want to play this. And Israel looking fairly aggressive yet again. It also looks like pretty much the exact same strategy they were doing last time as well.
Yeah, obviously we are seeing, you know, it was their defensive win round, and they kind of did it very well. Kendrew instantly looking for a little bit of a firefight there as well. Sorry, but they're kind of covering it down. They're finding themselves happier on this site, I would say, with how they held it. There was a lot of trades and a lot of aggression, however, and we said Empire lost their first round and then brought the next three back in a very stern fashion. Could it be the stern fashion yet again from the Russians?
We'll see how it goes down, as Empire will start to get control over the big tower very, very quickly. And we'll see how they push into this exactly. Still see everyone up on the board still, and a very typical take coming out from Empire indeed. They go for this big tower take quite a lot. It does allow them to gain control quite a lot of the map very easily. And there we go, Joystick already picking up the first frag of the round. Ninja's going to go down, along with Kazeka picking up the kill onto Nowhere. Looking pretty good for them so far. Already 5v3. Jugga's actually going to move on to the roam to try and get the refrag here. This is very aggressive for Maestro to be doing this late into the push. Jugga is determined, however. He's going to be holding down to the attic rotate, making sure that no one from Empire can make use of it. But I think that that Empire just holding it down. As I said, just push down this backside, just hold down the rotates, making sure that no one can make fun of it. But Kendrew, what is he doing? Just pushes all the way through into the big tower. He picks up 2 kills. This Empire's attack just completely falters with it. But he will go down for it. Kendrew trying to make the big brain plays there, but will go down. Now it's a 3v2. Still not looking too good for Unnamed, but Kendrew's big plays will give them a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Maestro roaming is a whole other thing. Jugga has come back to the point now, but that was some pretty ballsy plays there to just put a thorn in their side. And that's exactly what we're talking about, of things that they need to start doing to catch Empire unaware. However, Scyther takes down Cactus. It is all down to the previously roaming Maestro. Gets down. Scyther almost gets the double, but no. Shockwave takes the kill, and Empire take the first map.
Yeah, good halves coming out in the chat. Good bit of sportsmanship coming up between these two teams, but Empire will take the first map 7-3, looking very good for them, and a great start to the season. Unnamed, still some things to work on from them, especially from their defenses.
Yeah, well, they have plenty of time. That is the joy of the season starting just today. So many matches ahead. We look at that scoreboard, obviously, Joystick 10-7, but the rest of his team not far behind, all exceptional fraggers. And to be fair, neither was a lot of Unnamed, rolling on 7s and 6s and 8s. It was a good fragging match, that one.
Yeah, good fragging match indeed. It's going to be Clubhouse next, which is definitely a bit more of an interesting map, but very defender sided. I think it has about a 60% win rate in competitive overall. Those stats I think tend to be pretty true. Clubhouse very, very defender side.
Yeah, the thing about obviously Clubhouse as well, as we said before, is it's one of those maps that, with the changes to it, it kind of revolutionized the amount what you could bring to it and how you could bring it to it.
Yeah, the new changes that did come through with it, especially the blue staircase, allow for a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle. Maybe that benefits Empire more than it does Unnamed. Unnamed clearly do favor that aggressive playstyle as well. Doesn't quite work out for them as well as it did for Empire. Potentially, it's a different map though for Empire here. We already talked about how Empire are very, very comfortable in Oregon. They had a pretty good roam clear there. They managed to execute pretty perfectly onto Big Tower every single time. They never went for a West Main take though.
No, I mean, that was arguably, you say all the excellence of Empire as a team and you talk about what they can do well and how they do it, but the times where we started to see Unnamed start to push outside the box against Empire, whether as attackers or whether as defenders, that was when we started to see Empire struggle. That's when you started to see them lose men and lose rounds and lose players, and you've got to think, well, how is that going to develop as these teams get to know each other better throughout the season? Are they going to start picking up on those, and are they going to start finding ways to take control of the juggernaut that is Empire?
Yeah, no, there's definitely something to be said about that. That's maybe sometimes people feel that Empire is a very unpredictable team to play against. That can be hard to play against and hard to prepare for. But, just you do the same things to them and they are equally unprepared.
Yep. But in about a minute, we will be finding our way into Clubhouse. Now, obviously, as we said, this was a map that kind of went through a renaissance period with the revamp. Obviously, previously, before it was all spruced up, it was generally you hold down that basement point and that flat level, and then it's an argument over what points are useful. But now you look at places like Cash Room and see Stevie Ears places to hold the gym and bedroom, and these are really, really exciting points. But as you said, they can often be cited as defender favored.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Cash CCTV, you look at Armory, and even to a certain extent, you look to Gym Bedroom. There's a lot of things that you can do with these sites. There's a lot of creatives you can get with it. I mean, I'm sure that some people will know that I do coach for a team these days, and we've had some fun in dry runs just looking over, especially Gym Bedroom, and just the different setups you can do with that kind of site. And yeah, like, you just look at that and there's a lot of things you can do. It's a lot less restrictive than Oregon is. Oregon tends to be very linear. We'll see how Clubhouse does go down, as we'll see the second map of this pretty incredible series coming down between Empire and Unnamed. Empire will start off on the defense this time. No surprises there.
Yeah, I was going to say, this was their opt to defense first. And we look at the bans now. Obviously, previously, Ying was their take out of this. They're taking a little time to weigh it up. And then it was Ashmira, Valkyrie, obviously. Probably won't see the Valkyrie too much on this point, though. As you said, she's gone for the buff. But Maverick has been removed. And as defenders, that's quite a big pick in terms of those drop downs and hatches. And in fact, a lot of it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see the second ban is going to come through. Yeah, from Unnamed. It is indeed going to be the Ash yet again. Joystick. Not too happy about that one. Not able to play his favorite operator. Some people may say that Ash needs a little bit of a nerf, but regardless, she is going to be removed from this particular matchup. Mira also going to get removed. It's kind of an unusual ban on Clubhouse. Just a little bit. I would have liked to see maybe a Clash or a Maisho or an Echo get banned here as well. We'll see what Empire opts for. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's a hard call here. They're taking out of the defenders. They have obviously Echo still on the board. They're going to take Maestro out, which, to be fair, we saw them play a little bit of Maestro on the previous map. But their Echo game was winning rounds. It was so solid. And this is a map where you can get a lot of good Echo play. I
think we also saw Unnamed play quite a decent amount of Maestro, especially coming out there from Jugger. He did pretty well on it. It does cause some issues as well, but that LMG on defense is always going to be very hard to deal with, especially in a sort of balanced gunfight coming through. We'll see round number 1 getting underway. Empire start on the defense, and they're looking to take this series home to 2-0. But either way, they have secured at least a draw here.
Yeah, that's always good. But CCTV and Cash Room, one of the points we discussed a moment ago, one of those points that got that facelift that has turned it into the beauty that it is today. How are they going to hold it? Obviously, we didn't really touch too much on the fact that Maverick has taken off the table. The defenders opted to take off Maverick, and this is a point where Maverick can be so influential in getting control.
Yeah, we'll see how it does go down. The CCTV cash room is going to be the favored site here. Of course, with a Maverick off the board, this is going to make things very, very difficult for the attackers. Kind of surprised they didn't bring a book here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there is one wall that becomes a big point of battling and a big point of contention on this point, and it is the CCTV room's eastern wall, where normally you'll see a lot of teams, they'll bring a Maverick, they'll dig their way through that wall slightly, they'll make that room almost unplayable for the defenders. They'll stop any potential bandit trickery against it, and they'll hold it for as long as they can. And then it kind of forces the attackers to push around Garrows. It forces them to kind of take it way less direct to point. That's not the only way to take this point. Far and away from it.
No, it's not, but you do typically see either the east wall getting opened up, or one of the construction walls getting opened up, or the garage wall getting opened up. Those are the three walls that do tend to be the major contesting. But yeah, the east server wall, definitely one of big contention. And kind of confused as to why there's no book here, just because I know that Kendra is a very good book, and he could easily go in below. He could make a bit of a noise in lounge, and he can make sure that's all going very well for them. We'll see how the rest of it is going to go through as we move further into round number one. Lots of drones coming out here, and Kazeka with a pretty great angle here, just playing onto the top of garage here. This is also a pretty good place for Clash to play, just to defend the dock here, and you know, you can do a lot with this as well.
Well, Clash on this point is so beastly. And you can see they're using Glaz for the first time today. This is Glaz being bought, looking for that through the little bit peak. You are in a bit of danger there, Doctor. You're going to heal yourself up. Capitao is wanting in on the violence as well. They are really throwing utility and shutting it down. And that was a beautiful pick from Cactus to take care of Kazeka.
Absolutely beautiful pick indeed coming out from Cactus. That has completely secured the top of garage as well. So this is looking very, very good for Unnamed already. Kenju should be able to rotate onto this east wall and surely at least attempt to get it opened up. There are mute jammers down and there are bandits down as well. That may require some rotates coming out here from the Habana, the Sledge, and the Capitao just to secure this going through. But I love this bit of Capitao usage coming out between the Glaz as well, just to support this all out. But Joystick will get the frag onto Jugger. There goes nades as well. Shockwave just gonna peek it out. So aggressive coming out from him. Cactus goes down, and that's already a 3v4 with two very important operators from the attack already off the board.
Yeah, now all these trades are coming. Now we talk about how important that wall is to hold, but then it becomes a matter of holding this garage and stopping the push against it. Kendrew takes down Shockwave. The flashes and utility is going over the top. The battle is happening underneath, as well as Noah finds Joystick. Suddenly the 2 versus 3, the changing of the tides. The Hibana has taken a heck of a lot of damage, but they still have 50 seconds, which to pros is a lot of time to play with.
Yeah, still a lot of time to play with, but not a lot of utility left remaining, but they will be able to get that east wall open. Tank Ninja's desperately trying to find a bit of a fight here against Scyther, but it is a 2v3. There's still a lot of time and a lot of stuff going on here, but don't forget, Mute does have that SMG-11 now, and Scyther is going to make good use out... Sorry, Shepard is going to make good use out of that. This guy's just trying to push through this east wall. He has to just push all the way into the site and try and go for a plant. But the air drone is going to come all the way through and try and deny. He will see the Habana run in. He will hear the plant start to go down. Oh, but Scyther is going to peek it out wide. Tank Ninjas does go down. And now it's a 2v2, very evened out the scoreboard. But Kendrew takes down Scyther. The Nashor going to come through from Shepard. Is going to miss. That's unfortunate. And now it's a 1v2 all down to Shepard, but he is facing 2 very low attackers right now. He could try and bring this back. The diffuser starts to do its work. Flashbangs are going to go out. Shepard tries to get an angle, but it's a pretty good crossfire coming out. Kendrew actually goes down. And now Shepard with very good clutch potential here. He's going to try and peek it out into Server X.
Shepard has been doing absolute work in this clutch situation. Going to go for a defuse, try and bait. Finds the frag. Beautiful clutch there from Shepard to take care of that round. Plenty of time, although it's never, your heart never rests easy when you're doing that.
Absolutely beautiful play coming out from Shepard there, making great use of the SMG-11 on Mute now. And yeah, he just won his fights. Like, that's all it took. He just has to isolate the attackers there, but maybe a little bit of a poor setup on the crossfire coming out from them. Maybe Kenji should have repelled down. Maybe he doesn't have time to do that. These are things you've all got to ask and answer in those last few moments.
Wow. 1 round up. Empire. That was I would say we talk about how important certain rounds are to a team and when it matters to take them, but setting the tone on a map that was their pick, wherever team you are in the world, is always, it's a benefit to you psychologically, and we'll see how that leads into the aggression that we saw them kind of flirt with quite passionately on the previous map.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good attack, honestly, coming out from Unnamed. They achieved a lot of their earlier objectives. They did get the diffuser down. They opened up that east wall that we talked about, also important. Maybe they need to expect a little bit more aggression coming out from Empire. Just because the fact that a lot of them are losing gunfights, and they're not really even watching the angle that they're getting killed from. They're not losing the direct gunfight. They're just getting peeked when they don't realize that they're probably going to get peeked. And a great example of that is when the bandit peeked out the glass. That should not be happening.
No, who peeks a glass? It's a statement often cited out there, but you can see they're going for those reinforcements. Now, we talked about how this map was in the ye old times. For those who didn't happen to follow matches and esports or the game at that point, this was the point. This was the one that everybody held. It was much more stoic in terms of the defense. It was missing, obviously, that blue staircase. Now it is a much more malleable point. You see, oftentimes a lot of teams won't throw too many people on the roam. They'll cover all of those hatches. They'll try to keep it as a kind of flat battle. But hey, it's nice to see how Empire will deal with this and how Unnamed will try and take it.
Yeah, well, we'll see how exactly that is going to go through. Pretty heavy roam game coming out yet again from Empire, which should be no surprise, and I did already mention about how the amount of staircases now leading back down to the objective allow for a pretty good roam game coming out on Clubhouse. But we've already seen a pretty good roam clear in the past coming out from Unnamed. We'll see how they try and deal with this.
Yeah, so they are closing down, trying to find Kazuka upstairs. Joystick again is roaming up there. Jugger, however, shuts that down. We talk about how good they are at closing down. Well, we talked about how Unnamed are very good at finding those angles and shutting down Empire when they catch Empire unexpected. And there it was. It was Joystick just aggressively rotating and did not expect Buck to be waiting for it.
Yeah, Buck to be waiting outside of Jacuzzi, just repel for that long. Tank Ninjas will peek it out, and he will find the angry Kazuka, who will be peeking him. Tank Ninjas just trying to get the early kill here. He knows the Vigil is there. No, he won't pick up the kill just yet, but there we go. Kazuka will go down to nowhere from the other side, and again, great plays coming out from Unnamed, just trying to keep one player distracted while the other player moves around the other side. That is how you do a good roam clear.
Oh yeah, totally. It is a pitch perfect example, and now they have a lot of point to defend, and that is the argument about this basement, is that it's so big and so wide that when you do roam players, it leaves you in a bit of a tight spot. Try to and successfully impact tricked the second set of charges there. The hatch stays together, but that is both impacts used against one diffuse there, and they still obviously have an exothermic charge. Hibana still has some of those ex-Kairos. They have a Buck digging for blood as well. They have a lot of possibility to start finding and putting pressure on those surviving Empire defenders downstairs.
Yeah, not looking too good for Empire now, as Tank Ninjas will get a kill onto Shockwave, and now it's left it into a 2v5. They got plenty of control and plenty of utility, but not a lot of time. They're playing against the clock right now. Drones are going to come out desperately onto the site to see what's going on. And the bottom of the main stairs will be played out by Cactus. Looks like Capital Balls are going to start going down. All the execute side coming through, but Scyther picks up a kill onto Kendrew. The drop comes through from Tank Ninjas. He's trying to see exactly what happens, but Empire still holding on to Church. Won't realize that the plan is starting to go down into Armory. Scyther will try and reposition his drone, but it will be shot out. Jugger pushes all the way through onto Moto, while Scyther's teammate Shepard will go down. It's going to leave Scyther in a 1v4 clutch situation, just trying to peek out, desperately trying to find these gunfights, but the Diffuser will start to do its work. Just summing the bomb, and Scyther is just be pushing through onto Church. He will actually manage to revive his teammate, surprisingly, and that's brought it up to a 2v4, but he is starting to run out of time. Going for those pre-fires, trying to say, just come on, just peek me, just peek me, just peek me. But no, no one will peek you. They have no reason to peek you right now, and Scyther will push through onto Moto. The peeks do come through, but Tank Ninjas takes down Scyther, as Shepard takes down Jugger, but no, there's just no gunfights coming out just yet. Shepard just cannot find a break. Cactus takes him down with a headshot. Unnamed take round number 2.
Well, as we said, they shut down, they caught those roamers out so clinically at the very beginning of that round, and then from then on it was just a matter of putting a little bit of pressure, pushing Empire out of the drop that you wanted to take, and getting that diffuser down. And that was expertly played there by Unnamed. 1-1. They're going to return to Church and Arsenal Room. What are they going to change? What do they need to change in their defense to try and find a better balance there?
I'm really not sure, honestly. I think that Empire had a pretty good start of it. Just, again, they're getting caught out on the roam. There's no trades coming out from them on the roam. Maybe just that basement site is not a good roam site for them in particular. Sometimes I like to see at least one roamer there, just to add a little bit of spice to the mix. Maybe have an Echo Drone playing with him. In some cases, it kind of just depends. But there's been a Jackal every single round from Unnamed, and that is definitely going to affect your roam capability here.
Yeah, you do kind of think, well, how do you deal with the Jackal? Because the Jackal was playing very well as well. It got the picks, and they would still try and find the firefights. When revealed and when lit up against the attackers, they would go, well, I've been lit up now. May as well try and go for this fight, go for this battle. Let's not pull back to point. Let's try and get some blood out of this. Sometimes it's not the best decision to make. Sometimes it's better to play a little bit conservatively. Preserve your life, especially as we said on a point like this that is so big, so flat, and there's so much room for those attackers to find a way onto your floor and onto your platform. One more body on point, it does you a lot of favors.
It can do you a lot of favors, definitely. And just not only that, but you losing Roma so early on, you're losing everything so early on. But Joystick is going to go for the spawn peek, and he does get it! Kenju's already off the board, that's the thermite down! What just happened?
Wow. Wow, we talk about what they can do differently, and I guess spawn peeking, that works.
Definitely something they just Unnamed were not expecting at all. Kendrew going down immediately. That is a disaster, already losing your thermite. That is definitely going to affect a lot of things happening in the rest of this round. Empire realizing they really need to start getting a little bit more aggressive with this Tank Ninja, just with a bit of a jumping drone outside of garage storage there, seeing what he can do. Tank Ninja just pushing through onto that, but Cactus is going to be the one who picks up the first kill for Unnamed, takes down Joystick, and that's going to be the revenge kill coming out. But as I said, you're losing your Jaeger for a thermite, definitely worth it.
Especially on a point like this. Those drop downs are so hard now. It's completely funneled just what that Hibana can do. Yeah, you still have an Hibana, you still have a buck, but we saw Hibana's charge get expertly, well, they got taken out by impact grenades before Tank Ninjas finds Kazuka in a similar firefight as they had before in that in the garage room, and now they're starting to close down again. Unnamed are finding these picks, they're finding those roamers, they're shutting them down. Shepard is playing deep inside tunnel at the minute. Jugger is chasing Scyther's Echo Drone, trying to take it off the board. And that was abuse of utility there. And you're kind of thinking, well, where was that Echo Drone when it got spotted?
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things where the Echo Drone is just on the roam hunting for it. I'm just trying to delay the push as it comes through. But again, Empire, despite early gains, have still lost quite a lot of control here very early on, despite the fact they tend to want to try and play this very aggressively. This is looking pretty good for Unnamed. They still have a lot of utility on the board, they still have plenty of time to use it on the board, and they now have map control.
Exactly, map control is so integral, and it's a big flat ground, and you can instantly see even Jackal is getting in on that shotgunning, little spikes of damage. This is going to be yet again a similar situation to where they were in before, where you're going to start seeing them push Empire and kind of herd them into a position where they can start digging down. The Jackal usage there is one of my favorite ways to use that Jackal, is you dig and you get the footprints within that range. It can be beastly if you're closing down to a point like this.
Yeah, that Jackal range is a bit crazy. Shockwave is going to be the victim of that, trying to play around K9, see what he can do. Jugger takes down Scyther. Now it's a 2v4. Shockwave rotates through onto blue. The Capital bolts are going to go down to stop him pushing through onto this one. What a shot from Shepard! Just takes the head clean off of nowhere. The peaks come through from Shockwave. They recover the situation. Tank Ninjas goes down. The roof diffuser does get recovered, and Jugger takes down Shockwave, but Shepard trades it right on back. There goes Jugger. Cactus all down to him to try and plant the diffuser. He's got to do it. He's out of time. Shepard will start to push him with the shotgun, and he just gasses him out, I guess, and just hits him in the ass with it. And there we go. Empire take round number 3.
Well, there's not much else you can really do in that situation, so you kind of just got to take that smoke gas grenade to the side. But that was some very, very good play in the final kind of 30 seconds. To be fair, from both teams, Unnamed, they had complete control. They were shutting it down. They lost the thermite, and even with the drop of the thermite, they still managed to start to pull stuff back. But unfortunately, it was just not enough, as they found a way to make that a 2-1. CCTV and Cash Room we return to.
We will return there indeed. This was a pretty successful defense in the end for Empire, but don't forget, this did come down to the wire. It did come down to that 2v1 situation. This was a pretty good attack overall, as I said before, from Unnamed. Just maybe tiny mistakes coming out at the end of that, along with great plays coming out from the mute this time. There's not going to be a mute, though. No mute, which is, you know, interesting to see. Obviously, they still have that bandit on Scyther. We saw Kazuka on the dock playing a bit of a tight game before his life was taken from him at the top of that garage staircase. Glaz is back on as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to kind of change about this, because hey, there was moments where that C4, it got caught. It could have done a lot more damage there. It could, but at the same time, Unnamed and how they were closing down on it, and they got the east wall open. They started to put the pressure. It's the game of possibilities. What can change and what has been changed to make two teams that arguably both did very well one of them take it and one of them take it more convincingly. Yeah, that's looking pretty good indeed. We'll see how Empire try and hold on to this, but I'm still convinced that Unnamed can pull off a pretty good execute here, and they have done in the past so far. We'll see how the rest of this goes down. I particularly like the Capital usage here with the Glaz. They're not going to do that this time. But it's going to be Kendrew, who is going to be on his very famous role on the book.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've talked previously about Kendrew on that buck and how well he's been doing. Before Joystick is wanting these firefights so badly. Are they going to go for a run out against that Glaz? Somehow, no one lands any bullets on anyone. Joystick trying to push a Glaz outside.
Yeah, just don't peek the Glaz, but Joystick isn't afraid of him whatsoever. Karzeka also going to get very aggressive with it here and try and peek out onto the smoke before the Glaz can fully peek it, and he'll see him but won't be able to take him down. Cactus is going to be pretty afraid of what's going on here so far, but he will try and go for the pre-fires. Still, again, trying to pick up this kill onto Karzeka, but it's going to be Joystick at the bottom, gets a 2k. There we go, Kendrew and Jugger both out of it, just peeking out on the bottom. That's going to be Book and Sophia both off the board. Beautiful picks coming out there from Joystick, as Cactus will also go down. This is all falling apart for Unnamed. It's a disaster.
Yeah, well, you said it before in the previous map. Joystick is a player that sometimes needs time to warm up. I would say Joystick is warmed up.
That's an ace for Joystick.
That's an ace.
Well played indeed. Coming out from the Empire main fragger, Joystick. He's not here to play. He's here to win. And he will come through very well indeed. Played, and just the garage, just absolute slaughter. They were just all dead within the first minute. It was just,
there's so much that you can kind of look at that and go, why is this happening? Oh, it's happened, and Joystick's got an ace. Like, he was peeking the Glaz at the start of the round, and Glaz managed to get 2 shots either side of him. And you think if one of those impacted, like, that could have been a completely different round.
I mean, Joystick played it very well there. There was a lot of baiting going on from him as well. Just the fact that he got drowned out multiple times, he got peeked multiple times at the bottom of the garage, and you got to think at that point, there's no way this guy is still there. But surprise, surprise, he is still there, and he is still up in your face, and he is going to take you down and kill you. No trades coming out from Unnamed, though. It's kind of disappointing to see from them. We'll see how the rest of their attacks go through. Their methodology is good. Their strats are good. They know what they're doing. They're just not expecting the aggressiveness from Empire, I think.
Well, that's the thing. Empire, certain teams, you talk about mentality in CG, you talk about how teams deal with the pressure that they're put under, and every team kind of has their own way of dealing with it. Some teams kind of fall back and they turtle and they get more defensive, and that works for them. Some teams get more aggressive. A lot of teams crumble, and Empire, they almost thrive in it. As soon as they start hitting a back foot, they're like, no, and then they just push and they push and they push and they push, and they get so aggressive and so kind of relentless with the map itself, and they're pulling it off. They can pull it off.
They are pulling it off indeed. We are going to see a gym bedroom defense this time, however, coming out, and a very heavy hold from Empire coming out in the cash room. Lots of dedication there in terms of utility. The main wall this time, of course, for Unnamed is going to be to get that jacuzzi wall open. Once they have that open, they could potentially get control of the site, potentially go for a gym push here. I mean, the fact that they have the Capitao in this lineup really does stress that, but really anything could happen here, and it's going to be more about how they deal with Empire's roam and how exactly they're looking at that. And you see Cactus is holding it all down as Jugger trying to make an impact here and is just destroying these bandit charges. But it's not going to happen just yet, as Nowhere will manage to get the kill onto Joystick. And this should signal the fact that Cactus can open this jacuzzi wall up now, and they will do so. And that's got to be pretty good control of the site now, because they have cut off the rotation. Shockwave is going to realize he can't really do much here now, and he's going to try and rotate around.
Now, obviously, that is Shepard instantly pretty injured as well. We talked about when you can take Empire unaware. That is when you start to cut them off. You take advantage of the fact that they're pushing very hard and very aggressively. And obviously, that is the main man, the previous ace winner, dropping off the table straight away and suffering a lot against that smoke as well.
But again, you're not really losing any utility by losing the Jaeger. Good pick, though, and it is going to be a 4v5 as Nowhere is actually going to get injured outside of Jacuzzi. Now it's not looking too good for either team, really. It's going to be all about how these individual plays and how these pushes start to come through, as the holding is starting to come out from Karzeka. They're still just pushing through into CC, and there's still pretty good roam presence coming out from Empire.
Obviously, the bullets are flying. Jugger finds Scyther 3 versus 5, but all of the 5 have taken a little bit of damage. They're all kind of pottering between 50 to 80% health. Cactus takes down Shock, though, and the diffuser is being planted inside Jim.
Oh, what a shot from Karzeka coming out onto Nowhere. He'll try and pick it out, but no, Tank Ninjas will take him down. It's all down to Shepard. He's done it before. He's clutched it out. This isn't looking too good for him. All the crossfires being set up by Unnamed. They're not going to allow this man to try and clutch. They know he's in logistics. They will start to peek out the door as Shepard tries to peek them back out. But no, the Jugger will take him down with the free fire. Unnamed find yet another attack around on the board. So we're going to move through now into the next round. It's going to be the final defense coming out from Empire, of course. We are playing on those new rules, don't forget. And maybe you're wondering, we're not seeing any of the operators played. We're not seeing Lion played. What's going on here? Well, all those operators are temporarily banned from the competitive play in CCS, as well in a few other leagues. So we are following that kind of trend, and I'm quite glad to see that we're just trying to see what those new ops are like in competitive before we do move them into the major leagues and the big boys. But we're going to see how this rest of this does go down. We're going to move into round number 6, and we're going to see a Church Arsenal defense coming through from them. Empire in their last defense hit. This is not looking good for them, honestly. Maybe you're thinking, but Empire are winning it. It's 3-2 Sternup. What is going on there? That's not them losing, but what you got to remember is this is the defender side of the map right now. There's still a lot of potential here for Unnamed to take this when they move through into the defense.
Well, that is the joy of the new setup, where it is obviously 6 rounds aside. You have the ability to have a balance before you go back into the other swap over. You have that potential. When previously it was 3-2, who's winning, who's losing. Now it's 3-3. You know how maps feel. You know how teams can be more comfortable defending or attacking. And as he said, Unnamed, they are not letting themselves lose this without a fight. They are playing for that map-to-map draw. They are playing for that swap over. So when they do get the opportunity to defend, they have a much smoother run ahead of them.
This is all about how many attack rounds you can get on the board. And as we said, Clubhouse has about a 60% win rate for defenders. If you can start to win attack rounds, you can move it through onto the defense very well. But I say that, I still feel like Empire is a very attacker-sided team, and we saw that definitely on Oregon, that sometimes in the defense they slipped up a little bit because there was a pretty good roam clear coming out from Unnamed, and then when they went on to the attack, it was complete domination from them.
Yeah, I mean, it's how well a team can kind of find their feet and how well a team can kind of keep that momentum going. And momentum is just one of those things that is so important in this game as well.
Yeah, it is definitely important. And we'll see, again, Unnamed just taking these same angles that they have been doing pretty much every single time. And this jacuzzi angle as well is very, very dangerous to try and contest. And on top of that, it just completely cuts off rotates for any roamers, which again, Empire very much concentrating on that.
Yeah, they're a team that loves to rotate. They love having that freedom of a map, and sometimes, as we've seen, it can kind of bite them in the ankles a bit when they get caught out going and pushing against places they shouldn't really be going for. Vigil is going to get out of there, going to find another firefight almost straight away. A little bit of dancing in the bedroom between the pair of them, but Kazuka comes out on top as Joystick gets Nora, but Cactus gets the return frag against Kazuka.
Very well played indeed, coming out from Empire, just shutting down this roam play consistently. As Joystick will return onto the roam to see what he can do here. This is completely unexpected. There's no drone watching him. Joystick is not even going to see there's someone in the corner of Jim. Joystick, just look at him. What? Oh my god, there we go. Joystick will take down Jugger, and now it's a 4v2.
Unfortunately, Scyther has dropped as well, but that was, again, peculiar, as Joystick almost unsure how to deal with that. Running away, Tank Ninjas is looking for the fight. Joystick going for the reload and finds it against Tank Ninjas. Some beautiful gunfight there. 3 versus 1. Joystick, you machine!
Joystick an incredible 11 for 4 as we move into the second half. Just dominating on these rounds so far with the Jaeger. Not looking too good for Unnamed, but as I said, it's all about how many attack rounds you can win, and Unnamed definitely did their job there. They took 2 rounds on the board there. Not sure if we're going to have a rehost there, and no rehost is being called.
Yeah.
So maybe Empire just they just want to play 4v5.
Hey, it's probably Joystick at the end of that, all hyped up on adrenaline, going, I can just put me in, coach. I can take them. It's Tyson Fury getting up from the map. That is what is going on right now. CCTV and Cashroom is the first opt-in here for Smoke, Doc, Jaeger, Vigil, and Bandit. Vigil going to be swapped off for new buff Valkyrie.
Yeah, I mean, I like this from Kendrew. Just a way to be aggressive with... We already talked about it with the last map, of course, and Scyther, of course, will now return. But we talked about Valkyrie, how powerful she is right now. And we haven't really seen too much IQ coming out from... Well, we saw it quite a lot last game, but I don't suspect we're going to see it this map, right? Because IQ, maybe not too much preferable here. I don't know, what are your thoughts on the Valkyrie being used there?
I mean, Valkyrie was always an operator who, on certain maps especially, could give you so much information. She, you know, you look at certain maps where it's almost criminal how much she can get you in places like Consulate and stuff like that. And that was that. But now, if you look at a map like her new ability to take one of these black eye cameras and throw it through the sun, it completely changes what you can do with it. You can put them so far away, so unexpectedly, and IQ's obviously only got the spotting range of 15 meters. That's pretty limited if you're running around outside, and it would take up so much time as well, trying to find that and trying to have a little bit of confidence in your push against a building when you potentially got to waste so much just looking for stuff to be able to approach the goddamn thing. It's hard. It's hard to play against at the minute.
It is hard to play against. I think that it's easier given the fact that if you're just expecting runouts, right, there's not really a lot that can just go after them. But yeah, as our observer will know, Kenju will just yeet that over onto the tree there. It is actually incredible how far you can throw these Valkyrie cameras now.
Yeah, she's been working out. She's been at the gym. She's been getting henshin than she was before, which is a feat, but my god. Very powerful woman there.
So we'll see how it does go through, as we'll see the pushes coming through, and Empire just going for the nice little drones. I'm just going for this nice roam clip, but we're not going to see too much aggression coming out from Unnamed just yet. And just holding it all down as pretty default, I would say, from them so far.
Yeah, obviously. And for those unsure of why we're talking so much about Valkyrie's buff, it's the Wind Bastion stuff that's happened very recently that's had a slew of kind of patch notes and changes. I think there's been some that everyone's been quite excited about, like the SMG dropping onto Mute. Obviously, we're not utilizing the new operators or the new maps yet. They're in a little holding cell with Lion. They'll be coming and we'll be able to go more into depth. But we start to look at the push against point. There is a nice Hibana hole opened there from Kazuka covering across it. Kendra is trying to find a little bit of a safer space inside that CCTV room. Gonna have to rotate out there. You cannot stay there much longer, Valk. But there was some bullets from Shockwave going through the wall and almost catching them.
Almost catching them indeed, but Joystick will eliminate Tank Ninjas as Noera will get Joystick in return. But Noera himself gets traded out. Great trades coming out from Empire, and now it's giving them control over Construction very well. Breach charges will go through into Construction as well, and will get complete control there, as the trap is starting to close in from Empire. They have achieved most of their objectives here, as Kazuka will start to achieve more of them, and there we go. Kenju left alone now goes for the run out, but no, Shockwave will take him down as well. Empire take round number 7, a great attack coming out from them, very well anticipated for runouts as well.
Wow, that is 5-2 in Empire's favor. They are 2 rounds away from being able to claim these 2 maps as their own and open up their season in, well, the way they want to. Obviously, I think they went 13 wins in the previous CCS season. But CCTV room and cash room, Unnamed, have a little bit of a fight on their hands. Smoke, Doc, Jaeger, Echo, and Bandit going to head back up there and see what they can do differently. Obviously, we just spent a little bit of time building up Valkyrie, but when push came to shove, really didn't influence much.
No, it definitely didn't. And as I said, like, it doesn't really matter if the enemy can see you if you just anticipate the fact that there's only a few places they can actually run out from, and there's not... Let me put it this way, right? If you have intel, it's pointless if it's not actionable.
Yes, that is very, very true. And to be fair, yeah, it's one of the things that I guess for all the times we've said play against what Empire expect and you'll do well. If you play into the expectations of Empire, they're a very good team at shutting that down. They know those points to run out. They know where those control and especially aggression-based control points are, because that's how they love to play. That's how they love to move.
They do love to move in that way indeed. We'll see round number 8 getting underway, and we'll see a cash room as his room defense yet again coming out from Unnamed. This time, realizing the Valkyrie really didn't add much here. But they are bringing the Echo.
Echo is... it's always a joy to kind of see Echo, especially because, I mean, he's one of those operators that can be so influential, especially in the plant, kind of that final minute, that plant-based sketchy moment. If you still have an Echo on the board, that is such a big thing.
Yeah, it is a big thing indeed. And we'll see how exactly Empire are going to move through to deal with this defense. I'm not sure here, honestly, because it kind of looks like they're just going to go for the same thing again. And yep, Shockwave, yet again, picking up kills through the drone hole. How does that happen?
You know, you hate to see it.
I think you love to see it, the fact you get an Echo that off the board that early. Kind of depends on what side of defense you're on. But we will see. That is a insanely huge early kill going down. Already the Echo off the board. That has wasted a huge amount of utility coming out from Unnamed. We're actually going to see the smoke roam coming out from Tank Ninjas here.
Yeah, well, you know, smoke roam, there's a lot to be said about that. LATAM pioneered and generally only really used there because, well, the one other operator that could be argued is that end game point operator Cactus finding joystick jackalers off the board, which is a big relief for the roaming smoke. Smoke is the other late hold one, with the RGGs being able to keep control, especially against the east wall that has now been blown open. They must be crying out for him.
They must be crying out for him indeed. We will see how the rest of this starts to go down. Lots of droning and lots of playing coming out here from Empire. They're starting to have a lot of control here. And, you know, they still have everything set up for them. They don't have smokes anymore, unfortunately. But they do have their entry into the site. They have opened up this east wall, and that's just about all they really need out of this.
Yeah, it's such an influential part of this map. It's such an influential part of this point. It became the new go-to point, as we talked about. Buck can press it from underneath you, but you want that flat pressure. You want to be able to use it to push the team away from the cash room and start to hammer and anvil them against the rest of your team set up around. We're starting to feel those light trades. Smoke has found his way close to the point, which I guess is good. But Scyther is ready to catch, or Shepard even is ready to catch any of the rotation from that logistics side. Shockwave is watching from Jacuzzi. Scyther is watching from the opposite side. They're just finding a way to hit the anvil against this push.
Noir is actually playing C4 Bandit here below, so he still has below control, but yeah, I heard that tap from Kazeke. He will take off the head of Cactus very effectively, but as I said, Noir is still downstairs with that C4, does still have the ability to deny the plant. Jugger's also playing around to the garage still, so still quite a lot of potential here to push out of this. Tank Ninja takes down Shockwave, and the plant is just going to try and go down in cash, but no, Tank Ninja doesn't let it happen. He takes down Shepard. Jugger takes down Kazek with a nice headshot. Unnamed take round number 8. Empire just unable to deal with what is going on in the site. They weren't really using too much of their utility, and just losing their smokes early on from Jackal really did not help that case.
Yeah, it seems obviously you talk about players that can kind of be the heart, the soul, and the drive of a team, and Joystick are not really in the first map. The whole team was killing it, but this second map, he's far and away been a fire beneath Empire. And then, yeah, they lost the utility, but they also lost the man that has been driving this map, I would say. He's really been setting the tone and the pace. Not to downplay the hold there of Unnamed. It was a brilliant hold. Obviously, as you said, they still had vertical. They had that C4 underneath, and he sounded like he tore it at the end of there just for the sake of tearing it and wanting to get a frag. We talked about roaming smoke, and it's a lesser seen thing, and they managed to get back to point. They held on. They held on through their defense there.
They did hold on. I think a lot of that also came down to the fact that Juggo was still playing in top of the garage that late on in the round. And again, just kind of weird utilities coming out from Empire. I don't know if a lot of it was already burned at that point already. I think the fact that they lost the smokes, as I already said, did affect the push quite a lot. Otherwise, they probably would have been able to at least get a plant down successfully, because they would have had no intel otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. It played off to them, and we'll see. Obviously, they've still got a fair bit of ground to make up in this game. Unnamed, they have a few more points to hold on to, and they've already lost one defense and taken one. It's the translation. It's how they can keep this momentum going, how they can keep playing and keep control.
We'll see how the rest of that does go down, as Empire will start to push in here, and round number 9 will start to get underway. They still have quite a lot of potential, right? Because Empire, very known for their attacking side, and we've already seen it successfully so many times in the past. They've done very, very well on the attack, and that is something that's very hard to do on this map.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much possibility for defenders. We've seen some pretty big and wide roam games, but at the same time, it's one of those maps where there's certain points where you don't really have to roam too hard and too heavy for them to waste time, because there's just so much map. There's so much room for defenders to play around with in this point. But at the same time, you know, these are teams that are very capable with their aggression. They're very capable at movement. They're very comfortable at moving around. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a battle in this castle wall kitchen. Kazuka trying to get a sneaky peek underneath into the feet of the Legion. Legion just goes, I'm pulling this firefight, but Kazuka is not having any of it and drops Legion. There's a little bit of a refrag. Kendrew takes down Joystick. That is the Jackal off the board yet again. Kazuka jumping the bar and getting the knife. And another one, a triple for Kazuka.
What? How does he do that? Noera goes down to Kazuka, and he will get a 3k out of it. Kendrew tries to rotate to try and recover the situation just a little bit. The push is coming down to the site from Empire. Shepard takes down Kendrew on the flank. All into the hands of Tank Ninjas in a 1v3 close situation, all down to the castle. Let's see what he can do. He's playing so aggressive on the bottom main, says he is going to get drawn down, but he gets the kill anyway. Kazuka goes down. The impact comes through, but Shepard will trade it out. Empire take round number 9. What just happened?
I do not know, but I love that it happened. We say you don't need to roam on this point, but hey, why not just have most of the firefight the floor above? Hibana was trying to drone and look for feet. Legion was the one who went, no, I want this fight, and dropped instantly. There was a little bit more trading, and Kazuka just went, nah, I need to be behind that bar. I need more kills. And that was just some incredible, as we've talked about, leaning into the pressure, leaning in to the defenders in the firefights and finding them and wanting them and winning them.
I mean, yeah, okay, so the Legion impacts, and clearly that's a big mistake from him. I mean, it's good to act on that kind of intel. You know he's there, right? And you can kind of catch him off guard. Kazuka clearly more prepared for it than he anticipated. It's whatever, right? The Legion dies. At that point, he should really get traded, but Kazuka played really well. He throws a flash deep into bar, reckons the Docker's around there somewhere because he hears him probably. And yeah, he just pushes the bar straight up. And yeah, like, the Doc is not expecting to be wrapped in the face. Potentially, the ACOG doesn't really do you any favors there either.
No.
So, and again, like, just really well played from Kazuka. However, I have no idea how he got that third kill. From some incredible flick or just incredible prediction and pre-fire. Insanely well played coming out from Kazuka. I don't think he could have played that better.
No, that was pure John Wick that we just witnessed. But 6-3. Match point. They took 3 rounds in the first map. Can they better that in the second? Just a couple more to be able to pull this into an overtime. However, Empire, when they are on fire, they are unstoppable, and they are finding lights throughout each of these rounds, generally round to round. The closing down is starting to come. Scyther opening fire quickly, trying to catch anyone who might just be a little bit unaware in the top there. There is the few drones. They want to close down that CCTV cash room first. Joystick on the Jackal, who hasn't had the best run these past couple rounds. We've seen him go down once or twice after he had such an influence over those rounds as a defender. There's a lot of possibility here. There's so much possibility for firefights. The footsteps are being tracked. Cactus, again, leaning into the battles, leaning against Empire, wanting and baiting for these fights. However, here comes bullets.
Here come the bullets indeed, and Tank Ninjas will score 1 into Joystick, but Shepard instantly trading it right on back. Jugger with a great kill onto Shockwave is going to turn it into a 3v4. Not looking too good for Empire. They've lost quite a lot of utility already, but Kazuka on that beautiful Hibana entry will take down Jugger and turn it into a 3v3. Has even scored out just a little bit, and that's the only Nitro, of course, gone as well from Unnamed. That's not looking too good for them in terms of plant denial, but they still have plenty of control.
Now, minute 41, Kazuka. My god, you are lighting up on these attacks, but they still have a bit more work to do there against the Smoke and the Jaeger. Kendra and Noera, they have their work cut out of them. They've got to hold their team into this fight. Hibana, Thatcher, and Zafir are a hard set of ups to do that against, though.
Yeah, very hard set of ops to do that against indeed, as flashbangs are going to come through to try and deny the impact trick, but not going to be anyone impact tricking there at all just yet. We're going to be holding it all down. Kendra in a very weird position here, right below the stock catch. I was going to say, can he not get killed by the breach charge there? But he will not be able to. He's just sit there very comfortably. Looks like Empire going to try and go for a moto take right now, as Shepard will try to the bottom of main stairs, opens up the top a little bit. Let's see what he can do here. He does have control of the diffuser. He could drop armory actually here.
Yeah, they have a lot of possibility. You can see again, we commented on the shepherding being done in the previous rounds, and it is the reverse. Empire forcing them back, but Nora finds Scyther in and amongst that 2 versus 2, 25 seconds on the clock. There is a remote gas grenade stopping stun grenades in the pocket for Kazuka, who is on an absolute roll on the tear with that Hibana looking in and peeking, but Nora again with a kill against Kazuka. 1 versus 2. They have changed the tables. 10 seconds left, 1 lifeline. There's 2 of the aggressive stun lifelines going for a quick turn and a peek. Doesn't catch anyone. But Nora, 3 kills, very important.
Insanely well played from Nora here. Like, the fact that way he peeks it, right, that normally you'll see players that they'll either just peek straight or they'll follow the corner. And every single time, Nora is following the corner because he knows that potentially they're not going to be where he thinks they're going to be. And rather than just straight peeking, which is a kind of a lazy way to peek these days, he's following the corner. He's trying to anticipate unexpected moves from Empire for them to either be way too deep or, you know, not deep enough. And yeah, I think there's a lot of that coming out, especially from Unnamed recently. There's still things to be worked on from him, but yeah, looking pretty good already for Unnamed. Empire, however, are still 1 round away from bringing this in for the entire series for a 2-0 lead. Let's see how the rest of this does go down. Don't forget, this is a best of 2. So if somehow Unnamed bring this back and they win the map, the game will end.
Protect your bombs.
Yep, that's the rules, and they both get a point. It progresses. Obviously, the previous 2 games from the Monday, wonderfully casted by X and Pyrite, they both ended in 2-0s. They're both 2 teams sitting at the top and 2 tables sitting at the bottom. So Empire, they are going to be clawing for that win. They want to be amongst those top 3 teams, setting the tone and setting the pace for the way this league will play out. But at the same time, Unnamed, they were 2nd place previously. They are a team that can pull draws against the greats, and they are clawing their way towards that now.
They are starting to claw their way through it. Indeed, we'll see how the rest of it does go down, as we'll see another Valkyrie being brought here. Last time didn't end so well.
No. But then, you know, we talk about how well operators are running, and I would say Joystick on the Jackal is kind of getting themselves in a bit of tricky situations a little bit too early. Now, obviously, as we said, absolutely lit up in the first few maps. Was, you know, got the ace, managed to pull, I think, 3 frags and 4 frags and whatever, but then has only got 1 frag, I believe, in the duration of these attack rounds yet. And so far is often the first off the table. So you do think, what can you kind of swap out there? If this becomes a 6-5, that's generally where I would be looking.
Yeah, that is where I'll be looking as well. We'll see how the rest of it does go down, as Empire just going for this quick roam clear, just running out all of the logistics and the main bedroom and seeing exactly what's going down there before starting to move through where they can. This is a really nice cam placement as well from Tank Ninjas as well, because he's going to be easily able to see where Empire's push is coming through, but more importantly, when they have that control and when they can go for the flanks.
Oh, that was a C4 from underneath. Kazuka, kind of thankful that neither of them suffered the damage. Their Tank Ninja is being spotted by the Jackal, but that's generally you expect someone playing on those stairs. It's not going to be the worst reveal to suffer. Joystick looking for a bit of the firefights across. Cash sees the rotation, but does not catch any bullets, and sees it again, and doesn't catch any, and again!
Just constantly trying to catch it, but there we go. He will finally get a kill into Cactus, just going for all those pre-fires. That is exactly the opening kill that they needed right now. Empire still anticipating these runouts. Of course, they know there's a Valkyrie on the board here from Tank Ninjas, but Shockwave will pick up another kill of his own. Kenju goes down. That's the smoke off the table. That's basically the only plant now left here, as Shockwave finds yet another kill. There goes Jugger. this is all looking all but over. Remember, the last time they won this, Jugger was still alive at the top of the garage. This is not looking too good at all. It's still recoverable from Unnamed, though. There hasn't been too many objectives, but Shockwave with his 3rd kill takes down Tank Ninjas. And that's all down to Nowhere to try and bring this in from a 3v1.
Now the diffuser is getting put down. No way. They are all generally still alive, but you are not. That is GG's. Unfortunately for Unnamed, they lose these first 2 maps, but Empire, they have set their name on this tournament.
They've set the name indeed. They've done insanely well on these 2 maps, especially well played from Joystick. Maybe some people would doubt him. Some people would say, Joystick isn't what he used to be. He can't play anything other than Ash. Well, he has definitely proven that today. He's done very well with it indeed. We'll see how he does. And both of these teams will progress throughout the series and throughout the season. But that'll be all from them for now. That will be a victory for Empire, 2-0. Very well played from them indeed. We're going to take a little bit of a break here before we see Instinct versus Death Row. So we'll see you all then.